Hey everybody, boys and girls. It's time once again for the Coon Prairie Ramblers. We're still circled up. We got Casey, we got Luke, and we got the mailman right here. And we're talking about fishing. And I was wondering, you mentioned there was fishing songs?
Oh, yeah, there's a few out there. And fishing jokes, fishing movies. But I hear...
Oh, yeah.
I picture Andy and Opie heading down to the fishing hole.
I've got a bird at home that does that song.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Cane pole fishing.
Cane
It's
pole?
some of the most
Memorable?
some of the most calming.
Calming because you never catch anything, and it's just stand there and look.
You ain't got to fight with a reel that gets tangled up in all.
It's so simple. It's just you're sitting there, and I mean, really, if you know what you're doing, you can load your sack full of fish.
Is that what
Very therapeutic.
Opie and Andy did?
Yep.
Yeah, therapeutic. That's what I was trying to think.
Therapeutic.
Cane pole fishing.
Therapeutic.
Like a can of worms or catch you some grasshoppers on the way to the fishing hole.
It's also cathartic.
Oh,
Cathartic.
that's the other word.
Yeah.
2 words I couldn't think of.
Cathartic.
Sounds like that other word.
Yeah, but I have a lot of good memories from my childhood of walking down Shell Creek or Prairie Creek, and that was some of the finest fishing in the world. I mean, you had to work at it because you're walking down a creek, and at one point,
Wait a minute, you're walking and fishing at the same time?
well,
No.
you stop.
You stop and fish a while, then you walk down the creek a
Oh,
little
A little
further.
bit further.
Because that part gets stale and you got to go someplace else?
Well, you're looking for a better spot. Like you want to ease it out there, see if you can sling it up under a log or something where it can liable to be a bass
I don't
laying
know if
under
you're
there.
familiar with Prairie Creek, but at the point up towards 31, it's pretty narrow. Mm-hmm. And if you go there when it's low, most of the fish are in the deeper pools of water.
You can see bottom, and there'll be like a deep pool over here and a
Yeah,
deep
that's
pool,
what-
and the fish are not going to be in where it's this deep. They're going to get in the deep hole, and it might be a hole only this big around. They're in there, so they're kind of like trapped sometimes.
And that's why you'd fish that hole and you'd walk down and get another one and all. But it was just great fishing. And what is really great is when you have like a little griddle or something you can take with you and cook you some fish right on.
Look it right there, especially if
Now we're
you,
going to start talking about food and get hungry
Oh,
again.
especially if you
that
can.
smell. There's something about the smell outdoors like that. Anything, coffee, bacon,
It's all good.
fish, how good it smells is multiplied by about 10 when it's outdoors.
A lot of people like to fish, catch it fresh there, and cut a cabbage at the same time. So don't cook them up some cabbage, swamp cabbage to go with the fish. Oh yeah.
And if you're real lucky, you might catch a soft-shell turtle.
Yeah, you're right. Good luck cleaning those things. That ain't no
Oh,
fun.
that ain't much fun, is it?
No. That'll take
That's
a
a lot.
whooping.
That's a lot of work. Really, you need a little pair of tin snips.
If I recall another, I wish I had like a sawzall with me. He's coming out of that shell like right now.
You ever ate a
No.
you ever ate
shell
a turtle
coon.
at all?
Soft shell cooler.
Unless it was in a restaurant or something, but I don't
You usually
recollect.
don't find these in a restaurant. I don't even think it's legal to sell them in a restaurant.
I don't think so.
I think,
Well, I've always
I think it's
wondered-
legal to eat them. It's legal to harvest them.
What does the animal look like that's inside that shell?
He's got a funny-looking little nose.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
But don't let that sucker fool you.
Yeah.
He will take your finger off.
Right now. Don't mess with it.
I mean, if you put your finger out there and the length at which he can run that neck out
You got a long neck.
will shock you.
Longer than
Yeah.
you think.
If you grab him to pick him up, you better have him back on the very back of his. If you grabbed his shell where the front legs are,
Yeah.
he's going to nail
He'll reach
it.
right around.
Yeah.
He's got
He
you.
will, and I mean, I'm serious. He can take a finger off.
Won't turn loose
Well, I
till
was
the thunder rolls.
going to
either.
remove a snapping turtle. It was kind of like alligator type of turtle or something. He was in the middle of the road, and I was going to pick him up by his tail and, kindly, drop him off to the side so he wouldn't get hit. And his head came way back over his shell and almost got me.
There you go.
It's right
Then
back
you
to
stop
his
him.
head came back to his tail
I'll
almost.
tell you a good way to teach him a lesson about that. Eat him. Eat him.
Eat him, by the way.
He almost ate me first.
Or just kick him across the road instead of picking him up.
But when you open those things up, what you got in there?
Oh, you've got legs.
I mean,
You got legs, a head, a tail, and a bunch of guts.
Yeah.
It's not like a trunk and a body in there, really.
And what part do you eat?
There's no ribs.
Ain't no turtle ribs.
A little bit of back meat.
Yeah.
Legs, mostly.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
And can you cook them on the spot, if you do a
It
fish?
could be kind of tough. My mother-in-law used to make a just like you make a beef stew, she'd take a soft-shell turtle and she'd pressure cook it and get it kind of tender. Then you throw in your taters and onions and carrots, and you make gravy. And
this is after you get all the meat out of the shell, everything out.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's just the meat. You don't eat no gut and stuff.
Right.
It's like beef stew.
Do you bone them, or you eat around the bone?
No, you cut the bones out. You just take it off, meat off. But
Good eating.
You're going to have to show me how to do that.
right, no, that's a pain in the butt. Cleaning the turtle.
Well, we got a lot of things we got to teach you. We got to teach you that, how to cook a beer can chicken. What else was it?
That's right. Now we're going.
Yeah.
Now we're
We got to
going
make a list.
de-shell a turtle. I like turtle, but I don't like it that much. You have to clean
No, I
it.
don't either. And you know what? This guy I used to know, I worked the sheriff's department with. He loved soft-shell turtles. I mean, he'd go out his way to find them.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very adept
Cleaning
them and killing them and doing everything else to them. And he'd do something I wouldn't do to save my life. He would turn them over on their back. And when they do that, they run their head out trying to right themselves. And I mean, they run their head, like I say, they can go for a very long, way, sticking their head out of that shell. And he reached down and grabbed their heads and would cut their heads off.
That's right.
Big Ken ain't reaching down. What if you miss that sucker?
I have to have an axe or a machete or something standing by.
That would be bad. Whack his head off.
I ain't gonna grab him by the head.
He'd reach down and grab their head, and he could drop one shell off of it before you knew what happened.
Are they greasy?
There's an art to everything.
I mean, when you cook
I
them
wouldn't
up?
say they're greasy.
I mean, okay, you cook it, you
Maybe-
eat part of it,
maybe a little, not a
then you
lot.
put it in the refrigerator. Does grease set up?
It
Well,
would.
no, I don't know because
It would.
I fry them.
You pressure
Oh.
cook
And
it.
there
then you
ain't
make your
there's
stew.
nothing left to put in the refrigerator.
Oh,
Because there ain't a whole lot of meat on them.
No, there's not.
that's what I was wondering.
I would say a small soft-shell turtle would be about right for two people.
Yeah, you better have a couple other dishes to go with it.
Yeah, you better have some greens and maybe some cornbread.
So when you see a soft-shelled turtle,
That's easy
you're
for
probably
you to say.
you're probably thinking, is it worth the trouble?
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
you do.
Yeah.
I'll be honest
Exactly.
with you, you
And when
do.
you got fishing for catfish, you set out trot lines or bush hooks or whatever, and then sometimes when you come back and check them, instead of the catfish, you got a stinking turtle on there.
And nowadays, you got to hope nobody ever named him. But if
Oh.
ever found out that he was named,
Yeah.
That's
if
right.
he was Cecil the
He
soft-shell
was
turtle,
Cecil the
you'd be
soft-shell
crucified
turtle.
for that.
That's
Well, there's a
right.
whole lot of talk about Cecil.
He'd be in hiding.
Man, all the troubles in the world, and they're worried about Cecil.
Yeah.
Let's go back to fishing. You ever set out trot lines or trot lines are a pain in the butt. I'd rather just set out a bush hook here and there,
Bush hook.
and you do that at night on the bank, and then that way you can go about your business, come back and check them during the night.
Good for camping.
But you put like a little piece of tin foil, wrap it around the limb where the string is tied, where the line is tied, goes in the water, and then when you come by at night, you can just shine the light that direction. And if that little limb is jumping up and down, you know you got something on it. Instead of going and pulling it out of the water or taking your boat to go to it, you hit it with a light. But I've heard of people to catch catfish, something like soap, a little chunk of that, and put it on the hook and let that go down with a sinker. And as it melts, the fish like it. It draws them upriver, up creek. And the fish will eat that. They say
they like this
instead of your
soap.
bait just sitting there, and I'm sure some of that dissolves, but soap just melts.
And
they
the
say
way you
draws
tell
them
you
up.
got to
Never
you got to
tried that.
fish, he's down in the water, he's blowing bubbles.
I don't think so.
Oh no,
And
I
then
don't
you get
think
that shaking the bush, boss.
Look at that bush,
the
boss. Here's how I clean my catfish. Everybody's got different ways. I hold him up to a tree and put a nail right in the middle of his head. Nail that sucker's head to the tree, dead or alive.
Yeah.
And I just make a cut around the bottom of his head, get the pliers and pull his britches off.
You do the same thing with a frog, too.
With a frog, that's right. Well, the fishing hole is about to dry up. We're almost out of time, so we're going to have to go to the if bomb here in a minute, so y'all stay tuned.